you just abandon any precaution. You know, folks, something could happen here, and if it does, so what?
Hey friends, welcome to Nathan for Us, a Nathan Fielder fan podcast. My name is Kelly.
And hi, I'm Megan.
And today we are back to cover The Curse, episode 2 of season 1. This episode is called Pressure's Looking Good So Far. Meg, how are we feeling so far? How's the pressure looking on us?
I think this show just wants us to suffer. That is my conclusion. I don't know how much we progressed the plot this episode, but there was much suffering on my end. How about you?
I'd agree with that. I think this show is very true to what I know of the Safdie brothers' other work. It's very much just kind of making you feel really uncomfortable. I feel like it's very into making things that should be normal just like a little bit off and weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like there's a lot to discuss. One thing not about the show we need to discuss is the fact that we are on YouTube now. So
Yes.
if anyone wants to watch the video version of the podcast that is available, we're at Nathan for Us podcast. You can watch the video. Megan looks beautiful and amazing, and I look like a gutter trash because I am in athleisure.
Don't say that. No, athleisure is in. I'm in yoga pants too.
Come for Megan
No,
and stay.
come. Well, I do think if you can't tell the difference between who's talking, the video will help. You will be able to tell who's who. So even if you come join us at the video, if you want to see us while we yap, you can come hang out. I have been obsessed with YouTube my whole life. I feel like I've been so nervous about going onto YouTube, and that Spotify and Apple Music and like our little podcast space felt really safe, and it felt scary to make the jump onto YouTube, but we've been thinking about it for years. I know we've recorded video for all of our podcasts and have just been a little bit too nervous to do anything with it. So, being big and brave, going on YouTube. So come see us, give us a like, give us a subscription. It would mean so, so much to us. We're really excited to be here, to be horrified together at what we're witnessing.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot we can do with YouTube as well in terms of like other videos that maybe don't fit exactly with like the podcast, but maybe are Nathan Fielder adjacent, or maybe like short form content as well. So yeah, I feel like come check us out. Why not? Come on.
Please do it.
I have one other thing. Meg and I were hanging out in real life on the weekend.
Oh, yes. I did forget. Okay, I'm so excited.
So I revealed that I was keeping a bit of a secret.
Which I thought was outrageous to not tell me something in real life because we have a podcast together. I was immediately offended. I thought, this is ruining our real life relationship when we hang out. This shouldn't be allowed. This should be illegal behavior.
Yeah, she was actually mad.
Mad is a strong word, but overwhelmed.
Yes, overcome with emotion.
Yes.
Yes. So the secret that I've been keeping is that my mom did listen to our Q&A podcast. So she was a little bit confused with our ranch man agenda and trying to find her a ranch man.
She hasn't known for years that we've talked about finding her a ranchman.
I feel like she must know, but like maybe she just forgot.
But now she knows for sure.
Now she definitely knows. She was upset that we forgot to mention many famous Canadians. And then at the end of that message, she wrote, "I can't watch The Curse. It's only on Paramount." And then she sent that emoji that's like the really happy one with the two hands like out to the side. So cut to, that was on Tuesday, September 2nd. She sent me that. This Wednesday, or last Wednesday, so a week ago today, or a week ago tomorrow, She
Mhm.
texts me, LOL, I signed up for a free week trial on Paramount so I can watch The Curse. I love Emma Stone. She reminds me of Megan Bianco. I will have to binge watch to cancel on Wednesday next week. Ha ha ha. With like 5 laughing, crying emojis.
Like, her character reminds her of me. Also,
I
the
don't
last name drop.
I don't think the
Like
character.
Whitney or Emma Stone?
I think Emma Stone reminds her of you. So like incredible compliment.
Oh my god, the highest compliment, frankly, I could receive. Not worthy of it by any means, but very humbled in my corner. Thank you,
Yes.
Sherry. Thank you.
There's a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
if you want to hear.
Sure.
If you're prepared. So
Yeah?
I said, okay, please don't spoil it for us. We're only watching 1 episode a week. She said, I'm only on season 1. I promise I won't. I never remember anyways. And then a couple hours later,
Did
she
she
texted me,
immediately spoil it?
she texted me, I'm on episode 5 and I feel just like I'm watching Megan. It's really good.
I've never in my life been compared to Emma Stone. This is incredible for me. Sherry, I'm so sorry, but you might need to get your eyes checked.
She will be listening because she did also let me know that she is listening to the podcast. But the final message that I received about The Curse from my mother was really good. And then 5-star emojis. And then she said, I just feel bad and sad for Usher. Too small, you know what? So that's what my mom got out of the show.
Enters the building at some point in this series, or she is confused to Usher with Asher, which is what I suspect she meant to say.
I think she got autocorrected, but I really like the idea that autocorrect was like, no, my mom's texting about Usher constantly. Like, she's just all typing Usher all the time.
I love that. Your name corrects to jelly way too much in my phone, and never have I ever text the word jelly to anyone. I'm not like a jelly connoisseur. I'm not out here making jelly. I've never requested jelly. But my phone wants you to be jelly.
That's fair. Like, sometimes I feel like a jelly. I understand.
I do think your mom must think I'm like Whitney. Because if she's continuing to watch, which is fine, I can be fake as fuck.
No, I think she just thinks that you maybe talk. I'm not sure if he thinks you talk like Emma Stone. Maybe we'll have to clarify. I'm gonna see her tomorrow night, so I'll get some more info on exactly what she means by she thinks that you're like Emma Stone. But it did make me laugh really hard getting those messages. Also, the fact that she binged the whole show in one day.
A queen. I mean,
she's retired.
Yeah. Considering I've been yelled at my whole life that I look like Aubrey Plaza in every situation and that I'm like monotone and weird and witchy, like, I'll take a happy-go-lucky lady.
Yeah. You're just like trying to make passive houses.
Yes. Yeah, out here. I mean, a bird did die. A few birds have died by driving or by flying into my window. And maybe that's like where our similarities end. That I also didn't mean to murder birds, but my house did it for me.
Oh no.
A really big hawk, like one that probably should have taken out my window. I heard like a really big smack one day. I did a lap of the house trying to figure out where that noise had come from. Couldn't find anything. Decided, oh, well, you move on. Sometimes you hear big spooky noises. And then later that day, I went into my backyard and under the table was this giant bird that I guess the cats had dragged under it. Because there's no way my cats could take on a bird. And I realized then that it had flown into the window, fell. And then the cats, hours later, when I let them out, must have just dragged it under the table and pretended that they had any business being around a bird that big or would even know what to do with it. So it was really big. Disposing of it was horrifying. But Yeah.
Yo, the cats know what's up though. They were like, we gotta put on a big show and pretend that we did this.
They didn't even know what to do with it. They just kind of, Mars, the black cat, who, if anybody watched our video version of the podcast last week, made a few little appearances. They tend to pop up and climb around the chair while I'm chatting. She had dragged it over and then just didn't know what to do with it and just kind of pounced on it a few times, and that was it. Like, if they actually ever caught something, they would have no idea what to do with it. They've been raised on kibble their whole lives. They don't know how to be ferocious beasts out in the wilderness. They're like the derpiest little creatures.
This is completely unrelated to anything, but I've been dying to talk about a specific pop culture thing that's going on that I do think is kind of Nathan Fielder adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
And I texted it to a group chat to very mild reaction.
Oh,
but-
okay. I was just busy, but I did care a lot.
Okay.
If we
We
want
need
to
to talk.
immediately get very off track and then loop back, I think that's what happened last episode as well. We were like, this is how we curse people. So if you want to hear about the curse, just like fast forward a minute or two.
Well, I think this is like kind of Nathan Fielder related because I think this is like a very Nathan Fielder scheme. But we
Okay.
need to talk about Mr. Fantasy.
Incredible.
Because I feel no one is talking about Mr. Fantasy and it's making me
What?
feel crazy.
No, I
I
think
see-
the whole internet is.
Only on TikTok though. Like I feel like I listen to so many pop culture podcasts. I follow so many pop culture accounts and like none of them are discussing Mr. Fantasy. I feel like I'm crazy. Like is Mr. Fantasy making these videos just for me? I'm going to start a conspiracy
He's
theory.
not.
That's
He's
what's
not.
happening.
That's not what's happening. That is for sure not what's happening.
Okay,
Archie from Riverdale
yes.
decided to put out music in a wig on TikTok.
But like not just the music. So KJ Appa is the actor who played Archie on Riverdale. And yes, so he started this account, or this account appeared on TikTok called like The Real Mr. Fantasy or I Am Mr. Fantasy, and started posting these crazy videos. And it was this guy who's in like a bob speaking with a fake British accent with like clearly prosthetic fake teeth. And people quickly discovered or figured out that this was KJ Appa because, I don't know, the Riverdale heads are the FBI, I guess. And then he released this song called Mr. Fantasy and a music video. And honestly, it's so good.
Okay. But would it be good if anybody realized or didn't realize that it was KJ Appa?
Yes, I would unironically listen to the song Mr. Fantasy. Like, I'm about to put it on my marathon playlist.
Okay, but should you be wearing a wig and prosthetics and putting his tattoos, like getting them drawn onto your arm to try to draw people to this podcast because they think my co-host is Archie from Riverdale?
Or is Mr. Fantasy?
Or Mr. Fantasy. Can you cosplay as Mr. Fantasy and come back?
Maybe I should have thought it was Mr. Fantasy for Halloween.
Honestly, probably.
Anyways, I feel like this is very Nathan Fielder coded to be pulling a weird stunt like this because it's seemingly not attached to any movie or project that he's working on. It's just
called
like he's
having passion.
yeah.
It's
He's
called
just
a
like
hobby.
doing it.
Yeah. And he probably didn't want everyone to know it was him in case it was a flop, but it was incredible. And he unsurprisingly is getting all the attention he was hoping for from it. Because if he put this out and it got 5 views and no one realized it was him, like part of why it's popular is because people realized it's him. Without
Yeah.
people knowing it's him, this gets 20 views on TikTok and no one ever talks about it again.
You're not wrong. Anyways, I just needed to chat about that quickly because it's been eating me up inside that I have no one to talk to about Mr.
You've been
Fantasy.
fantasizing about it.
And I feel like Nathan Fielder would also like Mr. Fantasy, and I could see him pulling a similar stunt for literally no reason. He actually also made an appearance recently. He was back with his old friend Mac DeMarco on stage with his not plugged in guitar, just standing around. They didn't kiss this time, though.
Sad.
Yeah.
Your relationship is worsening.
Apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Would you trust Nathan Fielder to fly a plane if Mac DeMarco was his first officer?
I guess, yeah, Nathan Fielder like is a commercial pilot and flies lots of planes, does he need a co-pilot for it to fly smoothly? Like, how much is that role necessary?
I think very, right? Captain Olliers and First Officer Blunt, because you need two people doing the controls in case something goes wrong.
So then, yeah, you probably wouldn't want him to be a co-pilot just because they've kissed. The important part is that they are both certified pilots, not necessarily that they've kissed. That's secondary about their relationship, but we want them to definitely be pilots.
Yeah, I do feel Mac DeMarco should also become a pilot now so that then they can work together, fly a plane together, and they'd be like the ultimate duo because they've kissed.
A power couple, some might say.
A power couple.
So we'll give him like a fake little steering wheel, just like how Nathan's guitar was unplugged.
That would be a good bit. He should do
Mhm.
that on stage.
Yeah. They should at least post a video of it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the funny thing about all the Mac DeMarco stuff is it's always just like random secondhand, like people posting about it after. It's never
Mhm.
any official channel being like, hey, and Nathan Fielder's here playing guitar. It's always just like someone on TikTok is like, Nathan Fielder just showed up.
Honestly, the power. I feel like there's a few celebrities who just like show up places and get welcomed and get to do cool stuff.
Yeah. If only that were our lives. Imagine you just get to stand on stage and be silly.
Yeah, I mean that's the dream. Like multiple celebrities like get to go and crash people's weddings and get like cheered. They get to walk into concerts. They get to do all sorts of crazy stuff. If you could walk into anywhere and not get questioned and just be like, "Come on in. Here's seats at the front, no problem." Where would you go?
Ooh, that's a really tough question. Is like a specific concert or just a general
In general,
event?
anywhere, any event. For whatever reason, just because of your fame and fortune, you just get let in. You could have bought a ticket, but you didn't. You were too lazy. You were like, "Well, just show up. I don't need to."
I do feel like I would pick the Super Bowl. I famously would go to any Super Bowl just for the vibes and because I think it'd be cool. So I think if I had the chance, that's what I would pick.
Okay.
Controversial, I'm sure. Where would you go?
The Magic Castle.
Oh yeah, that's a good pick too.
So we're in we're in different atmospheres.
But I feel like those are two places that you can't like those are impossible to get into.
Can you buy tickets to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, but it's like prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
And like I'm getting like good seats, like I'm like somewhere cool,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, I feel like I would try to look up or think of places that not only do you need money, but you need like a secret code or like status to get into. Like you can really flex.
You want to
And
go to
in
like a
my
members
mind,
club.
yeah, in my mind, that is the Magic Castle. I'm like, oh,
Well,
you have to be
we know who
very
could get you
exclusive.
in.
Yeah. Yeah, Nathan Fielder. Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, moving on from Magic Castle and Mr. Fantasy. We start off this episode with a slowly filling up pregnancy test. I think there was like no doubt in either of our minds, I assume also yours, that this was not going to be positive pregnancy test, right?
Well, they made it seem almost like a horror movie, slowly zooming in with the music. In the previous episode, they said that having kids was not a priority right now. And I was thinking that maybe they were trying to give us the feeling or the same feeling that maybe Whitney had when she was looking at it for the first time. Like it was this very eerie experience to start the show off with.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like weirdly from taking like so many COVID tests too. At first I was like, oh no, she's sick. but alas, no, we find out that Whitney is pregnant, but we don't really like actually see her reaction or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like we see the test and then that's kind of it. We're at Asher meeting with the reporter.
Yeah, we quickly move on. We technically don't even know that it's Whitney's at that point. We find out later in the episode. I think I immediately thought it was probably Whitney's. I'm guessing you did as well.
Yeah.
But a spooky start, you know?
For some people.
Yeah,
ahead.
depending on where you're at in your life, different levels of spook occur.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, so we see Asher meeting up with the reporter, and she's giving him the news that she kind of needs more from him for this casino story. It seems like it's been 2 weeks since the previous episode of The Curse, and basically she's saying that all of the information that she has been told from him is public knowledge already. And he swears on his mother's life that he's going to get this footage that implicates the casino in essentially like encouraging gambling addicts.
Mhm.
I need to flag the him swearing on his mother's life. That feels too exact to not come back later.
Yeah, we don't actually talk about the curse at all this episode. It's not referenced, it's not mentioned, there's no flashbacks to it. We don't see this little girl or this family again. So we get some eerie and some spooky moments, but considering the name's the curse, I was expecting it to get brought up more. So maybe it happens later, but it is definitely this eerie atmosphere. And yeah, maybe he shouldn't be betting too much on his abilities.
Or on his mother's life. When he knows he's cursed and it's not reversed.
Well, he doesn't know that it's real. How are you supposed to guess it's real?
We
He's just
don't
gonna
know for
live
sure that it's
forever?
real.
Yeah, I guess we also don't know it's real.
We're just assuming based on the title of the show, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's interesting that we learn that the main issue is kind of the fact that this casino is really encouraging gambling addicts. Big throwback to the rehearsal, which I feel like that makes a lot more sense now when we had the scene in the rehearsal for anyone who somehow didn't watch that show, where Nathan has to move to, I think, Vegas, and he's very close to all the casinos, and he talks about the fact that he is so close to the strip and he's like trying to resist going to the casinos because he has dealt with a gambling addiction in the past. And we were kind of trying to decide if that was real or a joke or a setup for the next season.
Yeah, and everyone who had watched The Curse before we were talking about the rehearsal, depending on where this season goes, I know I had flagged that my guess for season 3 of the rehearsal was going to be about addiction and gambling addiction specifically because it was brought up and it felt a little bit unnatural to insert that topic if it wasn't going to come up more. But I wonder if it was just a major role in the show The Curse and he was referencing back to this. So maybe if we had watched The Curse first, it would have felt like it fit a little bit better in with his series of work.
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure because, like, it could go either way. He could have just been referencing this or he did have a gambling addiction and we'll really never know unless he decides to do, like, a tell-all. But I think that the whole scheme that Asher cooked up with the casino, where basically he helped to install these lights to help regulate the gamblers' circadian rhythm so that they would want to stay in the casino, is very Nathan For You adjacent. At its darkest points, I would say. But I also thought it was interesting that the other thing he introduced were these like bracelets so that people could keep scanning them to keep gambling, but they really were just giving magic bands at Disney.
Yeah. Okay. So my impression was that, oh, is this a news story or is this just what every casino everywhere does? Like lots of casino have cards that you tap, so you don't need to carry around a wallet. It just felt very like it didn't feel like a big gotcha. Like
Yes.
I would have assumed if there's a newspaper article out or someone does a news story on casinos try to get people to stay longer and gamble more, I would say that's not even a news story. That's an obvious statement. That's what they all do. Is it not? Is that supposed to be surprising?
No, I totally agree. I feel like that's why a lot of casinos, I think in the States, don't you get to drink for free, like as long as you're gambling. That's why there's no windows so that you can't, figure out how much time has passed when you're in there. It's so like overstimulating in the casino. I feel like this is like very obvious that that's what casinos are doing, which does make me feel like either there's more to this than what we've seen so far. I mean, the circadian rhythm lighting situation does feel a step further than kind of the usual casino tactics. But I definitely agree. It feels like not much of a story, which I guess is the
Yeah.
reporter's point.
Yeah, I think with some sort of video evidence that they're doing this, she feels that it's more of a story. But the other thing that we learn in this conversation is that Nathan records a lot of conversations he has and that he learned that in school. And when the news reporter seems surprised by this, he references how like customer service calls, typically you hear that little audio before you start chatting that the call could be recorded for training purposes. And so he seems to think that this is very normal and that you should use this in real life, almost to rehearse how you should act. So it felt, very much like a callback or something related to the rehearsal. Is this something you've ever done in your life?
Recorded a conversation. I mean, podcasting, obviously. I don't think so, but I feel like I would just feel so uncomfortable recording
Mm-hmm.
someone without their consent. It makes me uncomfortable that people record strangers in public all the
Oh
time. I
yeah.
really hate that, which like
Mm-hmm.
obviously we watch a lot of Nathan For You in the rehearsal, but like to me those people have at least given consent. Like they're aware that they're on a TV show, but it
Mm-hmm.
really bothers me when people are like recording strangers on TikTok, or if I'm like out somewhere and I see someone recording, it makes me so deeply upset.
Mm. Yeah, I hate it when I feel like someone's taking a photo of me or if I get in someone's recording. I don't love that. I don't record conversations I have with people, but I have to give a lot of presentations and speeches. And so if I have that coming up and there's something specific I want to say, I'll record myself saying my speech. And then when I'm in the car, I'll just hit play over and over again so I can hear myself saying it to try to memorize it. But that's the only time I ever do that, I guess, aside from the podcast, but that feels a little bit different. We're both
It's because
aware
we,
that we're being recorded. This isn't a
yeah,
surprise.
it's because we didn't go to Cornell hospitality school. We never learned this hot tip.
Yeah, very funny. I wish he had gone to business school, but
I know, but I
yeah.
mean, it makes sense with the job at the casino, which clearly is going to be a big plot point.
But then he's trying I didn't necessarily understand how he went from marketing at a casino and this light implementation to try to get people to stay to how he is now starring in a TV show about home renovations and assisting the community. I was like, how did you get that job upgrade for
Yeah.
HGTV?
I think it has to do with Whitney, right? So I think
Yeah.
we'll probably get into it more because we still don't really know much about. We know, her parents, and we know her dad has a small dick, but we don't know how she got
Important. Important.
important the important facts. We don't
Mhm.
know how she got into her like passive house designing, um,
Mhm.
or like what her education background is, or anything like that. I feel like we
Mhm.
have so little information about her actual business. Like we know a lot more about Asher's business.
Yeah, and the other thing that confused me is wouldn't this video evidence also incriminate Asher? Like he's doing this big
Yeah.
gotcha piece on the casino, but he's the one who suggested the idea, implemented it, and was pushing for it. And we see him going back and pitching more ideas on how he could get people to stay at the casino for longer. So this was clearly a big part of his job. Would he not be incriminating himself in this story?
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. I guess his idea
Mhm.
is like, well, he's not in the video, so I don't know if that's why he's feeling like it would be fine, but I mean, also Asher maybe just isn't the most, you know, aware or the most on top of things, we should
Mhm.
say. Um,
Yeah, somehow things I would say, are working out for him in general. We can get to the heist of it all a little bit later. But really he succeeds in many categories that I feel like he's like bumbling his way into and should have failed.
no, for sure.
Mhm.
Um, so we move on from Asher and this whole thing with the magic bands and the casino lighting, and we see Whitney, who's chatting to a new character, Governor James Toledo, who is of the San Pedro Pueblo, and he is kind of talking to her about the fact that, all these people are driving on the highway. They're not aware of the fact that they're driving on Pueblo land. And she's kind of talking to him about her plans for the show and wants to take a picture with him. He seems to be pretty positive in terms of like the conversation that they have. He tells Whitney that he's going to come to her friend Carr's art opening and that it means a lot to him that she is asking how she can help the Pueblo people with all of her projects with the passive houses.
Yeah, so we see the attempt at social engineering a few times this episode. And in Whitney's case with the photos, I thought that this was done so seamlessly, where she is having a conversation with James and she has an assistant there who starts to take photos. And she says, "No, that's not what this is about. We're just having a conversation." And gets James to be the one to say, "Oh, no, you can take photos of us." When that's clearly what she was brought here for. He
Yeah.
offers up his own phone. No, no, she has a professional camera. Like, she does this smooth as butter. Like, it is so well done for her to get him to come to the art opening, buy into her enthusiasm, get the photo that she wants. And it seemed like it went over really, really well.
Yeah. I feel like throughout this episode, there's so much with Whitney and the indigenous population.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, I can't wait to watch more because I'm so curious. Like, is this actually her being sincere when she's talking to James Toledo, when she's talking to Kara? Or is this all just the means to an end? Or is she just doing it to like make herself feel better? We really don't get any indication about what her real kind of motivations are with this whole thing. I guess it could be a little bit of all of this, but I
Hmm.
feel like this is, the great Emma Stone, who Megan famously looks like, is
have
just
have never.
she's doing
I
great work.
wish. I wish. Um, I would say, like, at this moment, it comes across to me that it's very fake and performative, and she just wants to look good on her TV show, and that their true motive is making a profit as they're buying real estate in the area, and their show is meant to elevate the real estate market within that area. So I think even with the art installation, which we can get into, she doesn't really understand what's going on, and Kara's kind of making fun of the people who come to see this. Um,
Yeah.
I think she wants to come across as really genuine and eager, but just doesn't necessarily do it in the exact right way. So it will be interesting to see how that character progresses. And again, learning a little bit more about her motivations, because I think the show wants to show us that it's very performative, and like, what are you actually doing for the community? What have you actually learned? So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned Kara, but we've got a couple of new characters. So James, as we mentioned,
Yeah.
we also we hear the name Doug Aitken,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that Whitney is like dirty deleting all these comments on her Instagram. People are saying
Mm-hmm.
that she ripped off Doug Aitken, which we don't know much about him yet. I'm very excited to learn more about
Well,
Doug.
so he's real. He's a real person.
Oh,
So he actually designs like the passive houses that have the mirrored facade on the outside. And so that's why they're saying, "Oh, she's copying it because her house has that mirror on the outside." It is funny when the bird goes in and dies on the side of it, she has like that Greenpeace shirt on.
yeah.
And it can look really nice. There's a really cool one, I think, in the desert, because it looks like the house just isn't there at all. But in
Yeah.
like forested areas, of course, like the birds can't tell either. So when they're saying, "Oh, it looks like your work is copying that," and at the very, very end, one of like the last things that she says is talking about, "Oh, well, maybe I can put a mosaic on the side to make it look different." But yeah, it's very clearly a copy of his work.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't realize that he's a real person. I was hoping that we were going to meet this guy.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool if they actually got him, where they got someone to play him. But there's quite a few people so far in the series that they've brought in that, saying HGTV, that's a real network, talking about a few different people in the Passive House community, whether it is their name or it's very similar to their name. So I think when they've been able to actually get the rights and use people's real names, they are doing that.
Cool.
Hmm.
Well, I'm excited to see if Whitney continues to dirty delete or how
Yeah.
that goes for her. In my
Hmm.
experience, formerly doing community management on social media, dirty deleting never works. If you're thinking of dirty deleting comments, don't do it. You will get 10,000 more. It's like a
Hmm.
hydra. It'll sprout 3 more heads. So you just
Yeah.
gotta either ignore or you gotta respond in a silly way.
Yeah, yeah. I have also had the same job, and we found that addressing what anyone is upset about or commenting about normally helps, or at least lets other people know if they ever have that concern, like, here's our response to it. I'm sure it's a little bit more difficult when you're blatantly copying someone and they can tell. It's like, what do you say? It's like
Just like,
not that easy.
whatever. You're like, well, fuck you, Doug.
Poor Doug. Yeah,
Uh,
so then we get Kara at the restaurant, which I'm very excited about. So first of all, the restaurant looks delicious. I did jot down what Kara was considering ordering and what she did order, so I thought we could maybe say what we would have ordered off the menu. So at first, Kara is deciding between coconut shrimp and fried cornmeal plantain pancakes. And once it is pushed on her that, oh no, we're going to buy you multiple meals, we're going to buy you food for tomorrow, which is, you know, would you be a little bit insulted if someone was saying
yes.
that? It's like, oh, you're
Literally,
so
yeah.
busy. Yeah, you're so busy. We're going to buy you dinner tonight and we're going to buy you meals for like the next few days as well, which obviously is probably making someone a little bit uncomfortable. Like, what do you think about me? And the whole reason that they're bringing Kara there is try to get her stamp of approval on their show. So once she hears that, she says, okay, fine, I'm going to order the expensive dishes and gets Moroccan spice beef brisket and pomegranate barbecue chicken. Then we
The two
have,
mains
yeah,
sound amazing,
everything
I will
sounds
say.
really, really good. And then we have Asher order a jerk chicken sandwich, and he checks to make sure that the tomato sauce is mild, which is very funny because they're trying to present themselves as like so multicultural, bringing Cara to this restaurant, seeming so enthusiastic, and it's like you don't actually like this food. You're asking if the jerk chicken is mild, like you don't actually want to eat the food that's here. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I thought this whole scene was really, really well done. I would definitely order the plantains, but I'm not much of a coconut
Mm.
shrimp girly. The
Oh,
mains the mains rock, but what would you order?
I feel like the coconut shrimp. I love coconut
Really?
shrimp. Yeah. We've never discussed this. That's very sad. Sad to hear. Coconut shrimp's delicious.
Like, I think it's okay. I really like plantains, and I feel like I could never make it the right way at home. Like, I
Mhm.
feel like I need to go out to get plantains because, like, the way that it's made at a restaurant is just so much better than what I could do in my own house. Coconut shrimp, I guess I also probably wouldn't make, but, you know, there's some pretty good, like, frozen coconut shrimps that you can buy that I think do the job.
Yeah, I mean all of it sounds really good. But I think from the starters I would get coconut shrimp. I might want to try the pomegranate barbecue chicken, but they all sound really good.
This is
We're
making
like
me
this
so
is the
hungry.
this is the important part.
Yeah. We're like, listen, there's a lot of stuff in here about like appropriating culture and, all of these things, but mainly we need to talk about the coconut shrimp, which we never get to see the food. That's like the
I
biggest
know.
thing. Ugh,
Yeah.
upsetting moment for me.
So, this is Mars. I feel like last time I didn't introduce her, just because she pops up and sits on my lap for most of the podcast. But this is one of my cats. So if you are watching the video, meet Mars.
Okay, so we see this interaction between Kara and Whitney and Asher. Asher really wants to immediately ask Kara if she'll sign on to be the cultural consultant for the TV show. And Whitney's very like, no, like, we're here to have dinner. Like, stop, you're putting so much pressure on her. All of these things. Kara immediately seems like very uncomfortable and gets the fuck out of there by saying that she has a work emergency and needs to leave.
Yeah, that was 100% fake, right?
I feel like when this first happened in the episode, I thought it was for sure fake, the way that she was acting and like just the vibes were so off. But then later in the episode, after they're at the gallery opening and Whitney's actually talking to Kara after the performance, I felt like Kara seemed normal again and didn't seem like she was so anti Whitney. So it kind of made me be like, maybe she really did have a work emergency. I'm sure we're never going to find out.
But she was with a group of people there. So I feel like she was putting on a bit of a performance and also was referencing how, oh, the exact people she wanted to come
Yeah.
to the performance are who came, which I feel like is the white middle class people who are trying to make themselves seem more cultured by attending her show and are using her for credibility. Um, I thought Asher was in the right though. I thought, that's why you invited her to this dinner. Maybe she would actually be interested in being a consultant on this show. Like she didn't give the impression that she wouldn't be interested in that beforehand, to my knowledge. And but she does make it very clear. The one part that makes you a little bit worried is when Asher and Whitney were talking about her pieces showing so well, and she was really worried that they were using her artwork to stage the houses on their show, and they confirmed that no, it was just in their own home. But I wasn't sure if that was true or not. I wondered if they had used the art to stage and now they were panicking and backing out.
I think they use the art to stage. I feel
Yeah.
like that they seem like the kind of people who they're so sure that what they're doing is the right thing. And they're like, well, we're showcasing this, Indigenous artist. And we
Mm-mm.
are putting her work in the homes. She's going to get all of this exposure. We're doing her a favor. I think that's the way that they view themselves. They're very much feeling like they're the hero in this narrative. So to me, it seemed like they must have actually used it in the staging and now are backtracking.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they need to go and adjust the editing at all. But Kara gets the fuck out of there, says, I gotta go. And then Whitney has a bit of a meltdown. If you were at dinner with someone, because she keeps offering, oh, we're gonna bring you the food, we're gonna order you even more food than the multiple meals that you've already ordered. We can drive an hour out of our way to drop off your meals. And Asher was like, no, we can't do that. It's a bit far, but like we can drop it off at your home that's closer by. Would you drive an hour to drop off someone's food
No,
that you're
like
trying to get on your show?
not in this scenario. I think like if it was like you were sick and like
Yeah.
needed me to drive food to you, like I would do it. Or like if one of our friends was like sick and needed food or like sad and needed food even, but like
Mm,
not for this purpose. I guess they're kind of like jobless though. So for them
mm.
maybe it's not as big a deal to drive an hour, but like that does feel a little aggressive. An hour each way. That's
I
a lot of
I
driving.
think when it's blatant that she does not want you to do that, although she does ask, which I thought was
Yeah.
bold of her. She was like, "Oh, you can wrap up my food and bring it to me later." I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
so
just
funny.
just catch the waitress and cancel the order."
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't been that long. It's been like 2 minutes since you placed the order. You should cancel it. But she's like, "No, you can just like be Uber for me later." I was like, "Now is the time to ask." Ask her
I
for the favor.
I would really like, and this is like very tinfoil toque moment.
Mhm.
I would love if we find out later that we'll talk about Kara's show, but when she has all of like the little statues that she claims that she stole,
Mhm.
and like she stole them from all these baseball games and all these places. I would love to find out later that like those were fake and she just kind of made up this whole backstory as a way to kind of rip off white people. I think that would be so funny. And it would go along with the casino artwork that we saw earlier that
Mhm.
Asher comments on when he's leaving the casino, which is the
Yeah.
characters of the two, native men who are or people who are like, we finally found a way to like whatever it says, basically making fun of white people for becoming gambling addicts.
Yeah, to like even the score.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the person who plays Kara is an actual artist.
Oh,
She's based in
cool.
Santa Fe. So they are using people who actually have the backgrounds. They're all method actors, I think.
Fielder method.
Fielder method actors, yeah. And also Monica, who is the newscaster, she's an actual newscaster.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so I thought that that was interesting as well. So I'm sure that she's not like this specific kind of artist who's taking stolen things, but I didn't have time to do a super deep dive into her. But I thought that it was interesting that we have multiple people who actually have the backgrounds that they say they have as their job, which I'm sure helped them get the role. But they're trying
Yeah,
to
it
play a
feels
lot on like reality as well.
yeah, it feels very meta because it's like, well, the show
Mm-hmm.
is trying to like help all of these people who live in this neighborhood, and they were like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we're actually going to hire local people to work on our show for real.
Yeah, and then Asher during this conversation even is saying, hey, I know multiple Native people who can be our cultural consultant from the casino. There's multiple people I'm friends with who I can ask, but Whitney really wants this specific artist because of her notoriety and because
Yeah.
she's getting popular. She keeps saying, oh, this artist is about to explode. She's exactly the kind of person we want to be working with, not just like your casino buddy, when the focus should be on, well, it's their culture and this is their experience, and it shouldn't be about how popular they are. So her focus is on that notoriety and not actually just getting the consultation that she's looking for.
Yeah. This is also the scene where Whitney tells Asher that she's pregnant. Um, Definitely an interesting move for Asher to respond with, "You still love me, right?"
So it made me so
Uncomfy.
sad for him. I don't know.
Ugh.
I don't know how to interpret that because they said that they weren't trying for kids right now. I don't know. Like, it just, again, every moment makes me feel a little bit sad and horrified for the people I'm watching. Like, it makes you feel so awful because he's so excited and he
Yeah.
just wants confirmation that it's what she wants too and that she loves him and she's excited about this. I feel like it's something that maybe you want to double check at that point if you're not sure. It just makes me sad for him that he's not sure.
Yeah, Asher's so whipped, man. This man is 10 toes down for Whitney. He will do anything for her.
As you should be to your spouse.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna have a baby.
Yeah, you should ride for your spouse hard. Like 100%. You should be all about them. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah, I feel
Why are you
this
like,
show
oh, he's so whipped. He wants his wife to love him and have a baby with him.
he's doing
You're
all
like,
this.
that's so embarrassing.
Yo, him being like, we can drive an hour to drop off this food. Like her being like,
Okay.
yeah, we can drive an hour. Like, girl.
Like, your husband is the biggest Kelly cheerleader that exists. Like, all he does is root for you and cheer for you, go to all your races, like, is husband of the year. Like, that is your man. He would easily
Yeah.
drive an hour out of his way to drop off food if you needed him to.
Yeah, I'm allowed to be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I think he's a better person than Asher.
No, 100%. I'm not saying he's like Asher, but that man is 10 toes down. And you hate feet.
So we got to talk about this next part of the episode. Speaking of things that are incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh.
Dougie
Which
is
part
on.
is the most uncomfy?
Oh my God. Like of Dougie's date or the entire episode?
We can start with Dougie's date, and then at the end, we should vote what is the most uncomfy part of the whole episode.
Yeah, there's so much. There's so much here. But so Dougie's on this date. And we get such a weird start to the conversation. We come in mid-date. They're like out for dinner. And he's explaining to his date that in order to sober up, you should be peeing a lot. He's like, people say there's all these tricks. However, those don't actually work. The only way to actually sober you up is to make sure that you're peeing out all the alcohol, which scientifically that would make sense. And the reason that he's explaining this to his date is because he was driving, got into a car accident where someone T-boned his car and hit his wife's side, and she passed away. And then he says that he just happened to blow over the limit, but thinks that regardless of if he had been drinking or not, this was going to happen. Didn't matter that he was drunk. And the date is just kind of sitting there, like, honestly taking it quite well.
Yeah. So unbelievably awkward first date, I think is what we're assuming. Conversation. It's so uncomfy, and he's clearly drinking on that date as well,
Yeah.
which is a hard watch. He shows his date a photo of his wife, which looks just like her,
Yeah.
which is also difficult. I don't know if peeing helps at all. Is that something you Googled? I feel like that can't possibly be true.
Okay, so back, maybe like a couple years ago, I can't remember the exact date. Colin and I were trying to find like hangover cures,
How
and
to
we
sober
bought
fast.
no, not even how to sober up fast. We just didn't want to be hungover. And
Hmm.
so we bought these sketchy pills that were called Hangly. I don't know if these still exist. They probably shouldn't. These seem so sketch. And we ordered them to our house, and
Hmm.
these are definitely like not legit. But we took them because we were like, we just really don't want to be hungover anymore. And we went to a party.
Hmm.
And no joke, these pills must have just been like pure diuretics. They made us both pee so much. We were peeing like every half an hour at this party. And we were both stone cold sober. We were drinking all day. And like, this was a famous party at our friend's parents' house. They always throw these
Okay,
summer
I
parties.
remember you taking these pills. I remember seeing the box. And we were like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, if this works, it would be incredible for us. We really need this in our lives. Like, you got to report back. So yeah, you just got to pee it out. You can't even
Yes.
like digest it. Like, it's just got to get out of there.
Yes. So this company has closed, but they claim that it was plant-powered DHM that alleviated the hangover symptoms because apparently it improves alcohol metabolism.
Mhm.
And somehow this is how this is supposed to work. But like they did work, which is a crazy thing. But like what were we thinking doing this? Um, but yeah, so the peeing, I don't know if it was the peeing or
Mhm.
like what part of it actually was legit, but they did work. So I don't know. Maybe we should be taking DHM.
Yeah, maybe you do just need to pee. I do think does coffee actually help?
I don't think it would help enough, I think is the problem.
Yeah, he seems to think that if you are over the limit, you could go and pee and then be under the limit, which feels wildly incorrect.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah. I mean,
someone on your date is telling you that, especially if it's a first date where you have no investment, nothing with this person, in fact, this is one of the only things you know about them, that's probably where the date needs to end.
yeah. I mean, I just like, this is just such a sad exchange. Like, the whole thing is just deeply upsetting. Him drinking on the date while telling this story, explaining that his wife died. The part where he says, like, I think about it all the time. It's honestly awful. His date being like, oh, well, but it's fine. Like, you got off because it was, you got off from all the charges because it wasn't your fault. I don't know. This is a crazy scenario.
Mhm.
I don't know how they wrote this. It is just very sad. Very sad moment in the show.
Yeah, like the whiteboard with sticky notes of like, and then the photo looks just like her. And then he says this, and then this. Like, they were probably crying, laughing while adding things, being like, how much more could we possibly do to make everyone uncomfortable
Yeah.
and to make this date as weird as humanly possible? And they did it. They did the thing. They included all the weird bits. When they go to leave the date, she says she wants to call an Uber, and he's driving and keeps
Yeah.
offering to give her a lift home. She says, no, it's okay, I'll take an Uber. And he says, oh, well, you might as well just sit in the back of the car, save the money. It's just as good as an Uber. She's like, oh, should you be driving? He decides to tell her, oh, like, I would never do that again. Like, of course not. She's like, oh, yeah, okay. Gets in the car.
Yeah, girl. What are you
Girl.
thinking? Well, okay. The crazy thing is, so she gets in the car, and then while he's driving, he's like acting so weird. He's like
So
spacing out.
spooky.
He's clearly trying to concentrate on the road. He like can't
Mm-hmm.
even listen to her talking to him because
Mm-hmm.
he's so concentrated on not crashing the car. I thought maybe he was just having like PTSD while he was
Mm-hmm.
driving. Um, but then he's like, "No, I'll prove to you that I'm sober enough to drive." Does a breathalyzer test while in the car and blows over the limit by 0.02.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dougie, what are you doing?
Why didn't he do that the first time? Like before they got
Yes.
into the car, instead of like his idea of the sober test was like holding his hand up still, touching his nose when he had a breathalyzer in his car.
Yeah.
But I mean, he does do the right thing at that point, immediately pulls over, parks, and says, you know what, it's about a mile walk to your house. I'll walk you there. Now, I assume she was sober, or are we saying she wasn't sober? Because I don't know why she didn't just drive, but maybe she also couldn't continue driving, and that's why she was calling an Uber. But they decide to walk back. He does some funny things on the road, trying to get the truck driver to honk at him, but it's a little. And even on the walk home, she's like, oh, I'm like, you did the right thing. Like, I'm glad
Yeah.
that you pulled over and walked. Like, she was saying it like it's an impressive quality, which it is. That's what you should be doing. If you have drank too much and you realize you have, immediately pull over, walk home, call an Uber, do something, get your car the next day. That is a positive. But you clearly should have done that before you got into the car. You have the ability to check. You've had the worst consequences you could have as an outcome of drinking and driving. Like someone died because of your actions.
Someone who you love, like not even
Yeah.
not even like a nebulous random person, like your wife.
Yeah. Like this should be so unbelievably scarring that like you would never even come close to doing this again. Like you probably shouldn't even drink. Not that I can tell people how to respond to a situation, but that's freaking crazy. What are you doing?
Okay, I also feel we should just, sticky note the fact that this is the second near miss we've had in the car in 2 episodes, because last
Yeah.
episode we also had the car where Asher and Whitney were driving in it, and they kind of veered a little bit off the road. And then this episode we have this whole car scene. So I feel like we're gearing up for some kind of car accident in the near future.
Conflict.
Yeah. Demo derby. Something's happening with the cars.
Yeah, I saw someone online write like, oh, Dougie is blowing into something again this episode. Keep track of like Dougie blowing into things watch. And I was like, what? Because the first
God.
episode he has, what was it, like the menthol in the eyes for that woman?
Oh yeah.
So I feel like it's probably nothing, but if he blows into something next episode, why does he keep blowing into stuff?
There's just too many things to keep track of.
Yeah.
Okay, so after this awkward date, we see Asher back at the casino once again, trying to get access.
Wait. Whoa. Wait.
Whoa.
Do we think he gets a second date?
It's so hard to tell if the woman on the date was just trying to be nice or genuinely was into Dougie. I'm leaning towards there's going to be a second date, but I don't know what, maybe there aren't a lot of eligible bachelors in the area. But what did you think? She might have been impressed as well that he's like a TV producer.
Yeah. She absolutely should not go on a second date, but my impression was that she was genuinely happy with the date, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But by the end, I feel like she genuinely seemed interested in him, uh, which I don't know, and was trying to make him feel better about the situation, which who knows why. He
Maybe
did
it was the
not.
food.
Yeah, maybe the food was great. Um, he did not go on a date with the news reporter like we hoped. This was not
Yes.
a character we had seen before. But maybe we'll see her again. Maybe he
Yes.
really stops drinking for her. Who knows?
I would love that. She works at the movie
Mm-hmm.
theater,
Yeah.
but that's all we know about her.
Movie theater.
I was like, what is the word?
Thinking about it, you're like, what is
I was
that
gonna
thing?
movie store,
So
like blockbuster.
maybe she is really impressed that he's like a producer. But yeah, we'll be on Dougie watch. Are you blowing into things? Are you dating that woman again?
Are you drinking?
Yes.
We'll talk about it at the casino.
Are you driving?
Yikes.
Okay, proceed.
Okay, so we go back to Asher and his whole plot to get the videos from the casino. So he's back with the casino managers and he's pitching that they should open a kids quest at the casino. I was rattled that this is a real thing. If anyone didn't watch the show, this is basically like childcare, but it's in the casino. So it's like you can drop off your kid for like babysitting while you go and gamble.
Mm-hmm.
I could not believe that that's real.
I mean, this again doesn't feel very surprising to me. I feel like there's so many different situations where, like IKEA, for example, not that IKEA is gambling, but I remember being dropped off at like the kids zone in IKEA when I was little. So it's like my parent could go shop in peace and take more time and be less distracted, I assume is IKEA's intention. There was like a movie room, there were stuffed animals. It was a whole fun time. So I was like, yeah, I feel like a lot of big businesses like McDonald's, the playpen area. I feel like lots of places do this, and like why not at a casino? It feels crazy to drop your kid off, but like as they were saying, free babysitting is pretty enticing. You know, you can drop your kid off and then go. It might encourage more people to come to the casino for the free babysitting. Babysitting.
He also suggests that they could make a viral video, which I did think was also a good idea. Less unsavory to me than the babysitting at the casino.
He has proven that he can do this before. What was it? A pig saving a duck or something?
Yeah.
A dog?
Hero pig.
Hero pig. I'm like, I guess a duck wouldn't need to get saved. Was it a dog?
I think it was a goat. The hero pig saves goat.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And there was that guy who was iconic doing the commentary while the pig saved the goat. Anyway, I do think the viral video would have been a good idea as well. But really this is just a means to an end. He's just trying to get access to that video. But Walland, who I think is like the casino manager, he does not entertain any of the ideas. And Asher kind of has to pivot by convincing his friend Bill that he has a really funny video that he needs to show him on a computer because his phone is going to die. It's like such a convoluted scheme. And Bill kind of allows him to show the video because of the fact that Asher is like, oh, and Whitney's pregnant. Like, come on, man, let's go watch this fun video. They kind of have to have some bro-y time. What did you think of this viral video? I assume you've seen this one before.
No, I haven't. It was fine. I don't it. No, I've never seen it.
You've never seen this one?
No.
Okay. I'm
glad
shocked.
she didn't like actually hurt herself. I really don't like the videos where people like actually hurt themselves. I don't know why. I wish I liked that more because I feel like everyone always is like, look at this insane wipeout. But when someone like actually hurts himself, I'm like, like that
fair.
poor person.
You're just
But
an
no,
empath.
I've never I just don't like it when someone like actually gets hurt, which is kind of funny because like that's what my parents do for a living, but whatever. Maybe that's why I have empathy.
You're like just imagining that it's your dad doing a stunt.
Yeah, some people actually hurt themselves. It's like, it's
Yeah, I
sad
think
for me.
famously.
Yeah, yeah, true,
Famously.
true. Yeah. Yeah. But
I think the problem is this didn't show it didn't really like show the best parts of the video. The best part of the video is when the girl is like describing running on snow and she's like, it's the perfect texture. And she just says it in such a funny way. I
mhm.
feel like I'm in such an insulated bubble from running where like every time there's like a big snowfall, like every single person I know reposts this video to be like
Oh,
ready to go
okay.
for my run.
Yeah, I've never seen this before. Famously not in the running community.
Well, you should know that it's the perfect texture when it snows that
Mm,
much.
nice little crunch under your feetsies.
Ah, gorgeous. Um,
Gorgina.
okay, and what do we think about the red Gatorade as a spillable bev?
Okay, this was one of my favorite parts and least favorite parts of the episode. As we discussed earlier, Whitney's like social engineering and getting the photo and getting him to approve the photo, like very seamless, very num, like, oh, so done so well. This was such a fucking shit show to watch. Him, like, you knew the fact that he even got into the room is crazy.
Yeah.
The fact
Oh,
that
for
any of this
sure.
keeps working just blows your mind over and over and over again. As soon as he places the bottle and they make us wait, knowing what he's about to do, was so ungodly excruciating. I was like, please don't. You're like begging the screen, like, please don't do this. That's so embarrassing. And he flings his arm as if he's laughing because people laugh like this. Like,
For a video
ah!
he's already seen, too.
Yeah, he's like, oh, sorry, just so funny. Flings this open red Gatorade, sponsored, question mark, over to his friend. What's his name?
Bill.
On to Bill, kind of misses. You
Yeah.
know, there's a little bit of red Gatorade on the ground, but Bill's not, like, he's not impressed. He's like, oh, come on, Asher, like, get it together. Starts cleaning, but isn't so covered that he would need to leave the room, which is what Asher needs him to do. And you see Asher holding the red Gatorade bottle above him, realizing that it didn't work and he hasn't done enough. And it's like, this man is just giving into every intrusive thought. And you're like, please don't do that. Like, have a filter, do something. And just dumps it right on him. And then to somehow make it better, he dumps it on himself as if to show that this is a big joke. And somehow it works.
Yeah. This is the dumbest, like, heist scenario we've ever seen.
This is like other dimension, Ocean's 11, where
But
like,
bad.
but it works. So then can you qualify it as bad? Like,
Yeah, I
if
guess you're right.
he got him out of the room, he got the files he needed, he did what he needed to do. How? Like, it shouldn't have worked, but it did. And it was
And
horrible to watch.
and Bill like didn't seem that upset about it.
He seemed upset at first, and then Asher was saying to him, like, oh, it's not as bad as, you know, getting farted on by you. And then they
Yeah.
start joking, because I guess, like, that's what he finds funny. And he's like, oh, yeah, you know what, man? Poor guy.
Yeah. This was just wild. I can't believe he got the files.
So trusting. Bill is so trusting. He leaves him alone in his office. Like, this is a good friend of his. This is someone who he worked with that he cares about. And now he's going to sewer this guy.
Okay, yeah. This is something that in the first episode Asher kept saying to the reporter like, "Oh, well, I don't want this to come down on the Pueblos. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want them to get in trouble." And it's like obviously they're going to be the ones who have to take the fall for this. Like, in what scenario would this not come down on them? They are literally the people running the casino.
Mm-hmm.
So you submitting this story, like sewering them and showing that like maybe they're, you know, getting more people to come gamble or stay in the casino longer and spend more
Mm-hmm.
money. Like, obviously this is not going to be good for them.
Yeah, and if it's not on them, it's on you. Like the two
Yeah.
people whose fault it could possibly be. I just feel like their interview wasn't so awful that it was worth this. Like
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
just show you being a little mad in the interview. And yes, Whitney's family, I guess, are like the interviewer is calling them slumlords. But you're saying, hey, you know what? We're not associated with that. It's not as if he's sitting there saying, oh, yeah, they are, but we're not. But don't post that. Like he
Yeah.
admits nothing. I just feel like their interview wasn't so bad that it was worth this. And that's your friend that you're dumping Gatorade on. Leave the man
Yeah.
alone.
I guess it's like now at this point he's just gone so far that he like
Mm-hmm.
has to just keep going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Upsetting. I don't want to see Bill get into trouble. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
He even gives Asher a shirt to wear.
Yeah. This, like, they're friends. I think they're genuinely friends.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
doesn't even
Well,
talk about how not that funny this video is, that it was not worth taking the extra. Although, like, if you're at work and you have an excuse to go watch a video for a few minutes, it's like, okay, maybe take it.
oh, totally. Every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. A little
Um,
rough.
so on his way out, Asher also runs into Dougie, who is playing blackjack and claims that he's down to $200.
It really
And
doesn't
this,
seem like he knows how to play blackjack.
no, it doesn't. And this whole exchange is so awkward.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure out, like, is this directly after the date? This must be like another day, right?
I can't tell if it's later that night or not. It would be crazy if it was the same day, but we really can't tell. And he's still drinking there, and we learn that they finished filming and they're waiting to see if the show is going to get picked up for them to continue the episode. So I think they've just done the pilot, right? And so we're waiting to see, but they don't really have a reason to be there anymore, or Dougie doesn't. So he's asking, like, oh, when are you flying out? What are you hanging out for? When he's tipping the dealer, he doesn't even know how many chips he left him. Like, he's asking him, what was the value of what I just left you? I just feel like he has no concept of what he's doing there. Like, he absolutely should not be gambling, but I guess a lot of people shouldn't be. But I feel like he's definitely drinking, or he has no idea what he's doing at that game.
Yeah, I was wondering if, because we saw that he really wanted to get the info from the conversation that Asher was having with the reporter, right? Him and the sound guy were trying to get in range to hear what that conversation was. So I'm wondering if
Mm-hmm.
he's like following Asher to try and figure
Mm.
out what Asher is doing with this casino story as kind of like, a backup plan. So
Mm-hmm.
he has a different show kind of concept.
That would be very interesting, because there are, and we haven't talked about it as much yet, but throughout both episodes, and I assume it'll be the whole season, just the shots that they are constantly doing are very much you're being watched by this third party. We get a lot of behind corners and around people, and it's always like someone's watching you. So it'd be interesting to find out, oh, Dougie was the one looking at you from this, but that wasn't my impression during this conversation. Like, it didn't seem like he was even paying attention to Nathan, but it would be interesting to find out that he was more aware and more observant than we thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's something else going on with Dougie. There has
Mm-hmm.
to be. And I'm gonna figure out what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding. Probably the show will just tell me
The show will
eventually.
reveal it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We will have to deduce nothing.
Yes. Okay, so we see a short scene also where there's a guy who's checking one of the passive houses for leaks, and he says the title of the episode, "The pressure's looking good." And while that's happening, a bird flies into the house.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is probably like set up for a future thing. I don't know. I'm feeling like we're gonna get some curse where there's many birds flying into houses, something really spooky. I would like that, but
Yeah, but you famously hate birds, so you're against the birds. You
I
want the
do. I mean,
downfall of the birds.
I'm not like anti-bird. I just like I don't like them as pets. I'd prefer them like to not come near me. Like I don't want them around me, but like I don't want them to die, you know?
You just give anti-bird energy. You seem fine and enthusiastic that there could be more bird deaths in the future of this show, quite frankly.
No.
You're like,
No.
no, no.
I just feel like that's what's going to happen. I'm just making predictions.
More bird deaths.
Yes. I think more bird deaths. That
Mm.
feels so like curse, you know?
Yeah.
Birds
Yeah.
flying like falling out of the sky type of thing.
Yeah. The crows have eyes.
Yeah. Okay. So after this we go to Kara's art exhibit called Dinner for 10. And we see a couple of her pieces. I think we kind of mentioned the one with the statues that she had stolen, which
Mm-hmm.
is interesting. But we see kind of the main attraction here is called the structure. And people enter into the structure, and there's like an experiential part of the exhibit where Kara's inside. She slices off some deli meat for you, hands it to you on a plate, and then screams at you. And when Whitney goes inside, Whitney eats the deli meat, and Kara does not like that and says, "Why did you do that?"
So, a few things. I think, why did you do that? I think she said that to everyone who ate the meat.
Yeah.
Now, when this first happened, and you can tell me, because you've been pregnant, but I thought when she was slicing the deli meat, it was going to be the reveal that, like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't eat this as a part of your experience because I'm pregnant. Because I thought you weren't supposed to eat deli meat.
Yeah, you're
Um,
not supposed to.
so I thought that that's the direction that this was going, that she was going to have like this reveal to this artist who she's trying to be friends with, that maybe the artist would be like, see them as closer friends or something. Um, but no, she just ate but no, she just ate the deli meat and then got yelled at. And I don't
Yeah.
know and I don't know why. If someone handed you a plate of meat they sliced in an art exhibit and stared at you like you're supposed to do something, would you be eating that meat?
I feel like I wouldn't. I don't think. But it's so hard to know what you would do in that scenario. I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of like modern art stuff can be just so weird and random. And I would love to know how they developed the structure and how they came up
Yeah.
with this art piece. Because it is really funny when Whitney enters, they're like, don't talk, or when she exits, they're like, don't talk to anyone about your experience in the structure.
Mhm.
And then Asher's trying to follow the rules, so he won't talk to her about the structure. But yeah, I mean, I've been to like a couple of these kind of very like modern art exhibits, and this
Mhm.
did feel very true to those. How did you feel about the overall situation here?
So it was just like, again, we discussed this art scene a little bit earlier. It seems like Kara is kind of playing into like the clientele she thinks are going to show up. Because then when we see James go in and do the same experience, he doesn't get it.
Yeah,
And as the Native American representative going, if anything, he should technically get it the most. Like, he should understand this art piece far more than other people attending or than Whitney attending. And so I think he's kind of walking around seeing, like, oh, this is very performative. This isn't real and authentic. And I don't think she was expecting someone like him to show up. And maybe that explains why she was a little bit upset when Whitney says that she invited him, because
yeah,
Whitney is going to say like, oh, maybe I don't understand it, but that's why it's so amazing, and is going to compliment it no matter what, because she wants to feel like she fits in, and she really wants to endear herself towards the Native American community. So even if she doesn't understand it, she's going to say that was incredible. That piece moved me so much. and say a bunch of stuff, even though someone handed you a plate of deli meat and yelled in your face. Like, what does that actually mean? Is it that you're
I
eating food that's not meant for you?
I'm dying to find out more about Kara's other art pieces.
Yeah.
Like I need to see
Like,
all of
what do
them.
you have hanging in your house that you
Yes,
think
that's the
makes
other
you so
thing.
deep and meaningful? And is Kara laughing at you for buying this because you think it's deep and meaningful and it's not actually to her? So, we'll see how it goes, but I feel like it was a big part of this episode was, Whitney trying to endear herself and make herself look good and be a good representative of this community. And then we have Asher, who is literally going and stealing from that community. And
Yeah.
they are all doing it just because they want their own personal show to be a success. So for their own personal gain. So they are trying to endear themselves and try to seem very, I guess, woke and like they know what's going on. And then we also have Asher literally robbing them. So it is very interesting how they're going on these different little journeys and coming together at the end. And it's for the same reason.
Yeah, I feel like something interesting that you kind of just brought up is so Whitney's trying to endear herself to Kara, who seemingly is like a new friend that she
Mm-hmm.
is still getting to know, versus Asher has already like kind of ingrained himself in the community. These are his actual friends.
Yeah.
He's already, been around them. He worked with them for seemingly a couple years. And yeah, like you said, he's actually like stealing from them. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's just interesting how we have on one hand like Whitney doing anything to get in with this crew, and like Asher's already in, but he's fully
Yeah.
just about to destroy the relationship for the show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty silly. He should have just gone to his friends to have them be the cultural representative on their show and help them make the show in a positive way. Winnie should care less about her image and getting the right person who's like this artist that's about to explode. And she talks about it as if she knows so much about this art and she understands it so well and how interesting it is. And even when she's describing to James, like, oh, she's forced to make pieces that represent the Native American community, but she doesn't want to, and she's being boxed in like this. Well, you're boxing her in like that, and
Yeah.
you're using her only for her status, not because you actually are friends with her and actually value her opinion. You just want to put her name on your show. So it's like she's describing this to James like it's like this deep thing that she's making art against, when it's like you're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, no one has any self-awareness on this show.
No.
It's
Which
incredible.
is yeah, I was supposed to say, which is the best, which is my favorite.
It's like Whitney should be recording this conversation to listen to later, as Asher
Yeah.
learned at the Cornell School of Hospitality, so that she
Yes.
could maybe reflect on what she had said to James.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so after the art show is over, we kind of already discussed how Kara said that the people who came were perfect. So, like you had mentioned, it was a lot of white artsy people who were like, "Oh my God, we're so cultured. We're like immersing ourselves in the native art world." And clearly, like Kara is hopefully ripping these people off. It seems like they probably deserve it.
Oh, no, she
Uh,
definitely is, right? She's screaming
yeah,
in their face.
yeah. Oh my God. Imagine being an artist and getting to just scream in people's faces. Should we
Ah,
do that as an exhibit?
ah. So, side project 1 is making little curse stick figures. Side quest 2 for you is pretending you're an artist and yelling at people.
I think this is like actually an untapped Nathan for you genre. Like
Mm.
he really could have gone a lot harder into the art world. I feel like he didn't explore that nearly enough.
Dumb Starbucks is his art.
It's true. His
Hmm.
Banksy.
It's his Banksy,
Um
yeah. Yeah, people
so
literally thought Nathan Fielder was Banksy. How more ingrained in the art world could this man be?
so real. Okay, so we see Asher and Whitney. They're at their ultrasound appointment for the pregnancy, and we get kind of this like very awkward exchange where the doctor asks if Whitney has ever had any previous abortions. She doesn't really want to answer, it seems like, and then she kind of holds up a number on her hand, but we don't actually get to see what the number is, and Asher seems very shocked by this. So
Mm-hmm.
clearly there's some like miscommunication between the two of them, or maybe like Asher doesn't know everything about Whitney's past, which is fine. Women
Mm-hmm.
can have secrets. Um, and during the ultrasound, the doctor lets her know that the pregnancy isn't going to be viable as ectopic. And obviously, this is very upsetting. They're kind of talking about it in the car, and Asher, particularly, is very upset over the news, far more than Whitney is. And Whitney's kind of discussing the house while Asher's kind of just mulling over this and the fact that he is going to start tracking Whitney's ovulation and how he's so excited to try again in 6 weeks.
Yeah, they went very quickly from we're not trying for a baby to we should start trying for a baby as soon as you are able to. So they should probably come together and have a little chat about that. And again, yeah, he's really focused on this, is really upset about it. But Whitney wants to quickly move on and talk about this mosaic design she has for the house that she wants to implement. She hasn't seen anyone use it before, and so she can get her own unique housing art out there so people will stop leaving negative comments on her.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is fair. Like, you could see how she would just be like too overwhelmed to like actually want to process this.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's an upsetting situation for them to be in.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like it was an interesting inclusion in the show. I feel like this isn't like a topic that's often portrayed in fictional media, especially not really on TV. So I thought
Mhm.
that was very interesting for them to include. We'll have to see if we think this is curse related or
Mm.
just
Mhm.
totally random because as the doctor explained, like this kind of just can happen to people.
Mhm. Yeah, and that was the whole episode. Which part was the worst moment for you? The cringiest moment? Because there were many.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think for me, like the most that I was kind of like crawling out of my skin was probably with the Gatorade.
Oh, I
Um
was gonna say that too. Wait,
yeah.
it's because of the minutes that they made you wait. Because you knew
Yeah.
exactly what he was going to do, and they made you wait. And I think that that had such a payoff where everyone watching knew exactly what he was going to do, and they made you sit there in it, which was
Yeah.
an incredible choice. And it's such a simple little thing like spilling a drink on someone. Because a lot of the other awkward moments are like real life situations, but they're happening quickly. You're seeing it unfold. There's that payoff immediately. This, like, they made you sit, which was
It's almost like an opposite jump scare.
exactly. That was
um
terrible.
it lingered for a little too
Yeah.
long, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, this show just continues to surprise, I guess. I'm still not really certain where we're going or what
Mm-hmm.
genre this is, but I guess we'll
Mm-hmm.
find out. The next episode is called Questa Lane.
Not a
I
clue. Oh, are you gonna read the episode description?
Yeah, I can read the episode description. I do feel we'll probably be dealing with a new house, likely,
Yeah.
or like a new housing development. Um, Let me pull up the little tiny. Oh, okay. I believe the only description, like the short version of the description, is just a focus group gets into Whitney's head.
Incredible.
So we'll see where that goes. We do have a couple of voicemails we can listen to. They're not
Mm-hmm.
directly curse related, but they are pretty fun. So if anyone wants to leave us a voicemail for next week about the curse or about Nathan Fielder, really about anything, if you think Meg looks like Emma Stone, please call
No,
and
I
let
don't
us
I don't
know.
need to have everyone call in and tell me no. It's okay. I already know. I understand. It's okay. I'm gonna just believe Sherry and live in that cozy little space and just be happy. You don't need to call in and tell me no. I know. It's okay.
But yeah, you can call in at speakpipe.com/Nathan for Us podcast. I'll put the link in our show notes as well. But let's start off with a really nice call from Ruben. That is just a really cute, lovely story that I thought we could listen to.
Hi, this is Ruben, and I'm a bit of a Nathan For You super fan. I've honestly lost count of how many times I've watched the entire series, but it's definitely in the double digits. And as a Jew myself and half Canadian to boot, I feel like Nathan's awkward but brilliant style of humor is basically part of my DNA, even though I've never met him. I've got a couple of Nathan For You life stories. First, I bought Summit Ice gear head to toe, as you do, and it actually makes for amazing snow sport gear. I got it for the joke, but it ended up working out really well. So I'd wear it snowboarding in Whistler and tell people I was sponsored by Summit Ice. My friends would whisper to me, don't do it, don't make it weird, but of course I had to make it weird, because someone had to make sure the people sitting with us on that gondola ride knew about Holocaust awareness. The bigger story, though, is about my dad. He and I used to watch Nathan For You together, and these days he has dementia and can't remember most things. Yet if I simply say Nathan or graduated one of Canada's top business schools, he smiles, like Nathan's an old friend of his. He may not remember much about his own life or even my childhood, but Nathan still cuts through. We both started watching Nathan between seasons 2 and 3 and caught up quickly so we could see the new seasons live. He was diagnosed between seasons 3 and 4, and in that dark period, Nathan's show was this rare light for me. My dad didn't really understand why I was so down. To him, each episode was just another time for Nathan's wacky antics. Finding Francis he especially loved, as he is an older gentleman who spent many years looking for love. He thought it was very poignant, and that Bill, while creepy, also had a small shed of relatability and pathos. So for me, Nathan For You isn't just one of the funniest shows ever made, though it is. It's also something that stuck with my dad and with me when all else has faded.
That is like the sweetest story. First of all, humble brag, skiing or snowboarding in Whistler, like incredible stuff, Ruben. But that is just so, oh, it's so nice that you could share that with your dad. I feel like, you know, I'm sure if we had a way to like send this to Nathan Fielder, we would, because I feel like to have something affect you like that in such a way where it's such a great memory, like that is just amazing. And yeah, thank you for sharing it with us, because that's just such a good reminder of like how all media can be such a great light in some tough times.
Yeah, I'm not trying to cry on this show, so I'm gonna keep this like brief, and maybe I'll DM you about it. I had a family member who had frontal temporal dementia, and it is so hard. It's just really, really hard to see someone not remember people's names or facts about them. And so to have something that like triggers that memory is just like so special. And like I'm so happy that it's something that you were able to bond on and meant something for you. Cause like having that show like bring a smile to his face and something you can connect on. Like those little moments I know for me meant so much. And so like, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm sure it's not the easiest to talk about. And yeah, thanks for calling in. Like, I know that we've talked a little bit online, and so you seem like such an enthusiastic and a nice person. And it's so great to hear like little tidbits of your life and other people's lives who have messaged us. But keep wearing your Summit Ice gear. If we ever see you, like we'll definitely deny nothing and we'll say hi. And I hope that your dad's doing really well and that you're able to still chat with him about that. And, you know, it's so exciting to see like that recognition. So that's really exciting. And I mean, I hope that he finds love, you know?
Yeah. Just honestly so sweet. Thank you for calling in.
Thank
like
you,
we cannot say enough. That is like so nice to hear such a personal story. And then we also have a call from Joseph, who just kind of wanted to call in, so we'll play that one too.
Hey, Megan and Kelly. My name is Joseph. Big fan of the podcast. Love your content. I also share it with my friends a lot, and huge fan of Nathan Fielder and all of his content. I think he's a genius. He's a magician, a pilot, an activist. And Nathan for You is my favorite TV show of all time. In 2014, I had just moved to Jerusalem and I was looking for a roommate. I met this guy from Cleveland and we ended up moving in together. I thought he was kind of strange, but one of the first nights we were like hanging out and talking about TV. And we found out that we were both Nathan For You fans. We got so excited. We were talking about every episode and every detail. And we were so loud, actually, that a downstairs neighbor came and knocked on our door to complain about the noise. So it was like 11 p.m. So yeah, I got super excited
Rowdy.
talking about Nathan. I also have a kind of distant connection to him since my cousin and him went to the same Jewish camp, so they did know each other back in the day. As for the podcast, I think you guys have cornered the Nathan Fielder market. I mean, he has so much going on, and I really don't think you should give up this niche. I actually have a Google alert for Nathan Fielder, and I watch any show he's involved in. I don't know if you guys have seen How To with John Wilson, but I love that. It's really got Nathan For You vibes. The other one was This Is America, or Who Is America, which is okay. I saw some clips. He was a director on that one. And Nathan's not going away anytime soon, and I really hope your podcast doesn't either. So stick with Nathan, and you guys are going to go far. Thanks, guys. Good luck.
Thank you, Joseph. Relatable, just like yelling about Nathan Fielder. You know,
Mhm.
anyone could get rowdy talking about
Yeah,
Nathan For
if you
You.
find anyone that wants to talk to you about it, it's a very exciting moment, I'm sure, for everyone listening. You finally find someone who has the same interest. It's very exciting. Yeah, well, we're doing the curse now. So hopefully Nathan puts this pilot business to the side and cranks out some more content for us. I'm really have my fingers crossed for rehearsal season 3.
I know.
That would be really wonderful.
I know. I feel like we'll have to see what happens with like the Emmys and stuff too, because he
Mhm.
is nominated for a couple Emmys.
Mhm.
I assume he's not going to hack the Emmys this year to try and make sure he can win the award, but I would love for him to
Mhm.
do a shout out to that skit if he does win.
Mhm.
But also I love hearing people's connections to Nathan. I feel like so many
They're so
people who
funny.
listen, everyone has
Yeah.
like a third degree connection to Nathan Fielder, which is
Mhm.
amazing.
Except
Especially
for us.
except for us somehow. I know.
Nothing.
We're from the wrong side of Canada. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's the only reason.
that's the
yeah.
only reason.
Yeah, if we were from Vancouver, we would for sure know someone who knows him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did have people who went to his wedding. So, or
Yeah.
not his wedding, who went to weddings that he was attending. So,
Yeah, my friend
close.
worked at the brewery that the wedding was held at and sent me photos of them together. And I was like, incredible. That's fine. To be honest, if I saw him, I don't know if I could say anything. I feel like I don't know. The only reason I would ever try to get a photo is literally for this podcast.
Yeah.
It would be so weird though going up to him. By the way, I have a podcast about you.
I don't know if we would want to
I
like
don't know if we
lead
could
with the
tell him.
podcast or we just like say like, "Oh, I'm a fan. Can I take a picture?" It's so difficult because it's like on one hand, what if we catch him on a day where he's like, "I'll come on your podcast." That would be crazy.
No way. No. He definitely doesn't know that this exists, but it would be very, very funny if he did, to know like his thoughts. Just
I mean,
2 random Canadians who have just been yapping about you for years.
we're not the only ones. Like other people are writing
No.
about him, and
Yeah.
HBO definitely knows we exist. So there's that.
Yeah. Is that good? I feel like they've only stopped people from coming on our show. They've been our enemy.
Our enemies, our noted
Yeah.
enemies, HBO.
Yeah, that's why I'm currently paying for a Paramount Plus so I can watch The Curse.
I know. Kills me to pay for it as well. But if anyone wants to follow us on our other social media channels, we are at Nathan For Us Pod on Instagram, at Nathan For Us Podcast on TikTok. You can send us an email, nathanforuspodcast@gmail.com. Again, you can send us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/nathanforuspodcast. Also Nathan For Us Podcast on YouTube. And yeah, lots more curse coverage coming through. We've got a couple more episodes to go, and we have some ideas for what we're going to do when this wraps up. But hopefully everyone's enjoying watching this show. I'm definitely excited to see what comes next. So
Yeah, also, and maybe we should mention this at the start of the next episode. So our logo I made 5 years ago, where I poorly edited together a Toronto background with the Nathan For You logo and switched you to us in what might be called the jankiest Photoshop of all time. And I followed it up with countless other janky Photoshops. But it very much is representative of Nathan For You and us. But we were thinking, because now we've covered the rehearsal and we're covering the curse, we were thinking of updating that logo to try to combine all of his shows and us and our content. So if any of you are artists, we would maybe love to work with you. There's some artists we were thinking of reaching out to, but if you are someone who is already excited and passionate about Nathan For You and Nathan Fielder, it would be fun to work with a fan and try to help us develop something. So if you're interested in doing that, we're going to look for someone soon to maybe help us out and to design something new. So yeah, give us a shout if that interests you.
yeah, slide into our DMs, email us, whatever works. Because yeah, we do want to update our little branding, I think. Though I do love what you've done with
Thank you.
the logo. It's so cute. And I'll never forget when Rob Sesternino told us we had to change it from Meagan and Kelly to Kelly and Meagan, because Meagan and Kelly sounded like Megyn Kelly.
Yeah, it really is the worst combination of names. But yeah, it would be super cool to work with someone. I know some artists have done some really cool rehearsal stuff that we've looked into buying. So yeah, if you're interested, let us know. Yeah, we'd love to hear you call in. We'd love to yap with you. Hopefully you're liking the new video content. This has been Kelly and Meagan on your side.